Okay, so I this is the first time in like days that I've been out of bed. I've been making videos throughout the day, but I've been privating them because I have to figure out one of my videos has like 1,000 views on it, and like it was one of like a personal video, so I'm just like I knew like it's on YouTube and it's like public, so I knew like people would be like people would like watch. Some people would watch it, I guess. I didn't know like to what extent. And then like people are like commenting on my videos, and so I'm a little weirded out, and I don't know how to like. Oof. I'm a little weirded out, and I don't know how to like really deal. I don't, and like there's no way that you can like private like your channel, or like you can moving forward you can private the videos, but you can't like you'd have to like individually go back and private everything. So I'm just like, I don't know, but I wish you could just like Instagram private or unprivate. But oh my gosh, so so I don't even know where to start. So once again, I'm in a situation. I did my fast. I got my Applebee's job, serving job. They make really good money there. But then after a couple days, I was like, these people don't like me. And like I was like, I have like a really like jarring face. So it takes a while for like people to get used to me. So like if they don't know me and they just look from like at my face, and they're gonna think I'm mean and unapproachable and stuff like that. I was trying really hard. I mean, actually, I wasn't. I'm not gonna lie, but I was like smiling and like trying to be like talkative, and like I don't know. I felt like they just did not like me, and I feel like maybe that's my head, and like me being paranoid because I'm like super hyper like aware right now, like very hyper vigilant, and like I was like I catch everything, every stare, every like everything, and so I'm just like I catch stuff, and I'm like these people don't like me, so I just didn't go back. I after yeah I just came home, and I had one day off, and I was like thinking about that morning of I had a breakdown, like a panic attack. I started crying. I was like, I don't want to go to work, and so I didn't go, and they never text me back or anything. So I'm like, they just didn't want me. And so, yeah, I don't really have a good track record. So I paid for rent this month, and like just had like I started looking for jobs, and I was like really sad because like in my mind I was like I felt like I was like hitting a new chapter. I felt like I was like closing this chapter and like gonna start a new one, but I feel like I was just being delusional. And like when I was younger, like I like wore hope like a shield. Like I guess I conflated hope and like imaginations and stuff like that, because I don't know. I was young, and so I really like just was like under I'm like depressed my whole life, and so like I would like dream about stuff, um like unrealistic stuff, but then sometimes I would hope like in that same manner, like unrealistic things, and I would like tell myself it's gonna happen in the future. And like hope is just like manifestation. Like you gotta like you manifest, but then you gotta like do steps. You gotta like do something. And so if you don't like, and you just have hope like as big as I did, then it just turns into a like delusion. So pretty much like I'm like my whole life I'm just like when the right time it like when it's the right time it would just like fall in my lap. And like I think like 4 or 5 days ago, like I just had a reality check. So I was so going back to what I was saying, like I was really convinced I was done with this chapter, this new chapter, like that old chapter. I was starting a new one. I'm gonna have a better job. I'm gonna like do all this stuff. I don't know why. I just had that feeling, and then it was like once I realized that I have to get a job and like I have to go back to work, like, and so I'm like looking for stuff and like nothing's hiring. So I'm like, oh great, I have to go back to fast food. Like I literally like realized like that like first of all I start crying, and then I'm like, okay, so this new chapter that I'm going into that I can feel is reality, because I've been living in like this delusion land where it just everything good's gonna happen on its own, like I just have to wait and it's gonna happen, and like this new chapter is like reality. And so yeah, I've been depressed for a while because like in my like delusional mind and like in my hope like mind, like when it was right it's just gonna happen, like I can just wait and sit around and like whenever it's the right time will just fall in my lap, and like that's not how it works. You have to work for it, and like I am not a good worker. My whole family struggles with laziness and idleness and like all that stuff. So like I really was like, oh wow, like I'm in the real world. Like I had that moment like I'm gonna have to work for what I want, and like I just started bawling because like even though that, like in my head I knew that deep down, but it's like I like refused to like believe that, And then like I saw something on Instagram. So for 3 days I was like just like depressed, not eating, sleeping all day, and then watching TV all night. Vice versa, sleeping all night. No, yeah, sleeping all day and watching TV all night. And then some days I wouldn't sleep. My system's so dysregulated right now. And I think yesterday, the day before yesterday, I watched this thing on Instagram. It was this guy. He's like, he hates his life. He's like 73. He said he has nothing to show for it and no friends. And he hates his life and it's filled with so much regret. And so he was talking about like how he grew up, and he grew up like me. Like he had no one and he was on his own. And like he wished he would have made life, like he would have made the life that he wanted and filled it with things that he wanted, but he was like so focused on like how he grew up and how like he had no one and all his weaknesses, and that hindered him for his whole life. And I'm like, that could very well be me, because I'm like just now healing, and like I knew like I didn't have it the greatest mentally, emotionally, but like I didn't, once I started healing, I really understand like how like all of my trauma wounds, how they affect me now. And like, the staff writing me off, I was like such a bad kid. I had behavioral issues. And so after a while, like, they kind of just like push you to the back, and all the kids that want to behave, they're the ones that get pushed in the front. And so back then, like my mind didn't register like, hey, you're being bad, and so they're not going to deal with you. When nothing works, my mind was like, they're pushing me to the back because I'm bad. But like my mind wasn't like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like when I was young, like I'd say I'm bad, but it's like I wouldn't like associate me being bad to like what I was doing. I was just associating me like as a person being bad, not like character, action, or nothing, just me being like bad, broken, like I don't know how to explain it. But so that stuck with me, and like the way that the people would like just be so like write me off, like let's not give her responsibilities, because I couldn't handle it back then. But just the stuff people would say, like I internalized that, and like now I say that about myself, I think that about myself. And yeah, so like once I realized all that stuff I grew up with, that I was like, it's not a big deal, like how it affects me now, like it like I broke down. And so I'm still depressed. I'm just trying to be happy right now because I have an interview, and if I'm not, I do have a mean face. But like if I'm not like if I'm like sad, like you can see it on my face. So but yeah, so I was depressed for a couple days. I gave myself a reality check. I like am like embarrassed to ever be seen working at Walmart or Wendy's or you know, whatever. And I'm like, why? Like, I don't have like experience for anything else. Like, that's something in my like career path. Cause I mean, it's just normal. I remember I was working at, I worked a couple days at Waffle House, but I was so embarrassed I couldn't. I was like, what if anyone sees me? And I was telling this girl, they made like 3 grand a month there. And I was telling this girl, I'm like, I'm so embarrassed to like tell people I work here. And she's like, really? And I'm like, yeah. And like, I literally like couldn't finish jobs. So I was so embarrassed. And like, I'm like, I don't understand like where that came from. But then like it clicked like in my mind, I am some like extravagant, big, like, you know, everyone wants to be me. Like, I don't know. And that's who I am in my mind. And so I'm in like I'm embarrassed of myself, like of my, I don't know how to explain it. It's so complex, but I have a picture of who I am in my mind, who I think I am in my mind. And if anything doesn't align with that, like I'm embarrassed. Like I can't do it. Like just normal stuff that people do, like I just can't do because like I like think of myself better in my mind. So that was another thing I had to give myself a reality check about. Like, hey, you are not that big. You're 26 and you're unstable and you're going from job to job and you have mental health issues. Like, you're not that person. And like also that like I was depressed for a couple days because I was crying because like, which is good. I needed to come face to face and like still like I'd be embarrassed to work at like fast food, but it's like I'm like I need it. Like if like it's a job, I need a job. And so I was actually going to go to an interview to Wendy's, but I decided to do this call center first because if I could, I think I could go to Wendy's tomorrow. And like the call center, I think if I miss it, then I miss it. And so yeah, that reality check, and then I gave myself like, I guess I thought it was ego death, but it's not quite because I'm still like puffed, puff chest. But I feel like that's like how I grew up. Like when you have nothing inside, like no self esteem, your body kind of like builds stuff up, like just makes stuff up, you know, and like puffs you up so you like feel better about yourself. But it's like I really want to like work through all of that. Also, another thing was like I like don't like live in the ghetto. I live in Wesley Chapel. I'm the only black person here. And also like I don't like working in the ghetto. Like I like working in a nice area, not nice people. Like I was like I want all this stuff, but it doesn't match like my like energy. Like 90% of my experiences with people are negative. Like I just give off negative. My aura is black. And like I belong in the places that I hate, like I don't want to be. And it's like I don't like, you know, it's like when you have like nice stuff, like you want to like let kids that treat stuff nicely, like let them play with the nice stuff, which sounds bad. And then like or let girls play with like the um I don't know. And then you let boys like go roughhouse outside, but you wouldn't let boys roughhouse outside like around like nice furniture and stuff like that. And like I'm like that boy that belongs outside, but I want to be over here. And I don't know. Like I fit the lifestyle of all the people that live in the ghetto, that work in the ghetto, but it's like I couldn't do it. I can't face being there. And it's like I just had to have like a reality check. Like you're 99% evil. Like you give off negative energy. You're not nice. Like you don't belong with the nice kids and the nice stuff. And yeah, like a lot of it, like all this stuff, like it's really hard. But it like I need to like face it and just realize like this new chapter is me being in the reality and being real about myself and understanding that like people have like harder shit than I do, and like um and Like, it's just life. So that was that. Also, I was journaling about God. I have so much, I have so much trauma, like, which that's why I'm saying I don't really think I'm like really saved, because I have so much hatred and so much trauma. Like, there's no way that I don't know. I feel like there's just no way you could have like that much hatred. Like, I feel like I have bodily reactions and that much trauma and like be saved. Like, I have like so much trauma from when I was younger. Like, they always taught like about hell and stuff like that. They had a saying like you can scare them to heaven, and pretty much like scare them about hell and stuff like that. So then they want to go to heaven to escape punishment. And so that's what they always did at Southside. They always taught about hell, and it was really scary, really graphic. You're gonna be screaming and gnashing your teeth, and you're gonna be there ever and ever and ever, and one day's like a century. And so I would be scared out of my mind, and I'd go home and I'd be like, I need to get saved, I need to get saved, I don't want to go to hell. And so like my house parent would come in and she would be like, okay, well, you got to believe in God, and you got to say this prayer, and then just believe in your heart, you're saved. And so I would say the prayer, and I'd say, I believe. And like, I just knew as soon as I got done praying that I didn't have God in my heart. And so, my house parent would leave, and then I'd repeat the prayer and repeat the prayer, like, and it just didn't happen. And I'm like, okay, let me just maybe if I say it like, more sincere, like, it didn't click in my like mind. There's just like such like a mental block there. And so like every year for a couple days, like I'd be freaked out, like I wouldn't want to go to sleep. There was this one thing in 2012. They're like, it was like supposed to be like the end of the world. They had like a clock, and so I was like, what happens at the end of the world? Like, we're gonna die. I'm gonna go to hell. And I was just like, I couldn't go to sleep. I was freaked out. And I think that was very traumatizing as a kid, and especially as someone that's really numb, who doesn't really like experience a lot of emotions. Like, that's very, very traumatizing, and you definitely remember that. And like, I felt like I wasn't good enough, or I don't know what I felt, but I just knew that he wasn't letting me into heaven. So um I prayed, and I got saved like 15 times, or tried like 15 times. And like, I would do it so many times in my room every couple years. Even like 2022 I was doing it, and 2023, like every year I'd go back to it. I'd get scared, I'll cry, why can't I get saved? And it's just traumatizing. And like I yeah, I just, if he wanted, and I knew after I said the prayer I wasn't saved. And so like, I'm like, if he wanted for me to be saved, he would have accepted my um he would have accepted me. And he like never, like, I never was accepted. And I couldn't understand, like, I don't know, I yeah, I don't know how to explain it, but I think I was like trying to think my way to it. And I still to this day, like, no, I'm like, am I really saved? But it's like there's so many people that get saved when they're younger. And like, for me, like, there's always this mental block. I couldn't get saved. I couldn't ask God in my heart. And so like, I had so much resentment, and I still have so much resentment now, because like, I was just so traumatized as a kid. I'm like, why I like, obviously, every year I come back and I'm asking. So why do I have a mental block over my mind? Why can't I get saved? And yeah, I was traumatized forever. And so I have so much resentment because of that. And also I have like rejection, because obviously he wanted me, he'd like remove this mental block over my head, or over my mind. And so yeah, I have so much rejection, wounds, resentment. And like, I feel like over time it just like turned into hate. And I didn't even know it until like a couple days ago. Like, I was like depressed, and I was like, oh my god, like, it just started coming out. And then I journaled, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is deep. This is like pure hatred, like devil hatred. And yeah, so that, I mean, I did have some crash outs this week, but I did learn some stuff about myself, about my spiritual trauma, about, myself. And I was journaling today and I'm like, I want to be better. I want to be, I want to change. I want to be sweet. I want to be nice. I want to be all, I've wanted that for a while, but it's like I'm like so much trauma and like I'm like usually not present and I just like am on default mode like the whole day and just stuff happens and I'm like the only way I can really like work through that is just work through trauma and just heal little by little every day and just like release stuff every day. And that was really encouraging because you get 1% better every day, and then after the year you're like a whole changed person. So I'm like, let me just go slowly and just heal, because then I can like work through like my responses, my default mode, like my subconscious. I can work through all of that, and just like I just have to take my time and do it slowly. So that was really encouraging. Also, I can like work through some spiritual trauma and stuff like that. Yeah, this is new chapter is gonna be a lot harder because I have my eyes open, my eyes wide shut. Um, this new chapter of me being in reality and me being present. I've been present since like a couple weeks ago, but I really this chapter want to be present like 99% of the time. And yeah, so that's what's been going on. And hopefully I work. Oh yeah, so I'm working on my PWA empty bellies, and I don't want to get my hopes up too much, but then also because like the worst part is like when it's like dashed, like when your hope is like just dashed. Like I don't know, hope is like so powerful to me. Like it can change my whole mood. Like this, like I don't know, like possibilities, but it's like as soon as it's that chapter, I don't know, it's like you just. But the worst feeling is when like you like it's just not gonna work, and so I really don't want to get my hopes up. And I'm like, this is gonna save me. This is gonna be it. We'll see. I have an interview today for a call center. I don't look happy. I don't have makeup on, but I'm really just gonna be optimistic and put it out there that I'm gonna get the job. If not, I'm not gonna be on here for a couple weeks. Also, I decided I'm not suicidal. I'm not about that life. Not about it at all. So, I literally have like a scrape, and I'm just like, oh no, I can't do it. So no, that's not it. Not gonna happen. But yeah, I feel like also like if you don't learn your mistakes, they just keep repeating, and I feel like that's why I keep repeating like being unstable and like being like this. It's like I've got to learn, and I feel like this new chapter, which I'm gonna hate because I'm gonna be working a lot. I'm gonna have to work 2 jobs to make up what I did at my other job, with full-time jobs, which it's gonna suck. But I just want to like heal. I was healing so much like 2 weeks ago, and then like I like numbed everything out because I'm like so uncertain about what's going on right now. So I can't really focus on like healing, but I'm gonna go back to being like super hyper vigilant. Like today I did my 5 breath works, but I didn't do any of my yoga or somatic movements or like meditation, so I've got to do that. Also, I don't have sleep, so it's not gonna work, but I'm gonna go back to being like doing like so much healing, because me and Braun. Because I want to heal. I want to get better. So, yeah. Also, I don't know when my glasses are coming, but I feel like it helps me not look as scary. And like I like the poofy look. It gives me a little something to work with. That's better. I'm done stalking. I'm done after this. Moment of weakness, but I'm done. I'm done. I do. The more like healing I do, like, and like the more like, I don't know, I feel like I pushed like finding anyone like companionship and stuff like that. I pushed that way far down the line, because like it's gonna take me at least 2 years to heal if I'm being consistent. Then it's gonna take me like, then I'm gonna like, once I'm like healed and debt free, like I'm gonna like want to spend time like with myself and like couple years. So that way, that's 27 to heal, that's 29 to heal. And then like when I'm 30, I want to like spend like a lot of time like with myself and just like be in like harmony. Yeah, so it's not looking, it's the ball post is further and further. Like I told God, I was like, I would be okay getting married at like 35. Just keep it from my head, and I'm fine, you know? Sometimes I'll get lonely and I'm like, oh, I need someone, but it's like I need so much like alone time, and like I want to do ketamine therapy so bad. So I struggle with like depressive disorder, so I, not as bad as my sister, but I've been depressed pretty much my whole life, just like default. And so I really want to work through that, and like work through complex trauma and stuff like that. And I feel like ketamine therapy would be like an easy fix, but I need to like be stable. And like I've like, because I've been uncertain for like these last like week and a half, like I've closed up and like regressed a little bit, so I need to open back up a little bit. And then I definitely am like, really want to do the ketamine therapy. Like bad. Anyways, I'm gonna get the job today. I am. I'm putting it in the universe. Universe, please be nice to me. I can't take it anymore. If not, I'm gonna... No, I'm joking, I won't.